just switch these lights.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesdays Live with Dear James and my amazing, fabulous co host, the Lady Jaclyn. I am an intuitive. I offer intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions. And the Lady Jaclyn is a human design expert offering amazing guidance with the human design system. And together we join forces and we do these Wednesdays live with all of you, taking your questions live. So as you join us in the broadcast, please put up into the comments that you're here, say hello, and tell us where you're joining us from so we can acknowledge you. And then again, throughout the broadcast, as we bring you the weekly energies and the information, submit your questions, submit your areas that you're needing guidance on or what's happening in your life. And the Lady Jaclyn and I will address your calls and questions and so forth as we do this live. Hello, Jaclyn.
Hello, dear James. Hello, everybody. Oh, listen, Wednesdays are my favorite days. I know we say this every time, but it is such a pleasure to be able to be with you guys here today. Good morning, good afternoon. And like James says, please let us know where you are tuning in from. Even if you are watching the replay, give us a comment, give us a shout out. It lets us know where we are reaching all over the world.
Absolutely. And also share. Please like, subscribe, share, tag people. If there are people that you feel would benefit from these Wednesdays live with the Lady Jaclyn and I, please by all means tag them in and spread the word, because we're here to enjoy this and have this moment and share it with you and offer intuitive insights and human design guidance and expertise. And that's really why we come together. It's about all of you. So, and just top off, right off the top of the hour, so Kelly is joining us. So hello, Kelly, and hello, Lori from Illinois. She says, I love Wednesdays, and we love Wednesdays too. You can see these smiles on our faces. So absolutely, this is a joy for us. You want to grab that one?
Oh, we have Elizabeth from France, and then we also have Anne that says hi. Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, yeah, I was just chiming in with you, Jaclyn.
That's perfect. I was just going to say that it's so incredible to be able to see, be able to connect with everyone internationally, like all over the world. I mean, I'm sitting in South Africa. You're sitting in, where are you sitting in? Are you still in the mountains?
I'm still in the mountains. I'm in Colorado in the United States, freezing. Thank you very much. Can't wait to get back to California, to Los Angeles. So,
I can
yes.
imagine. We also
And
have Sarah from Virginia as well. And Jennifer. I am Jennifer. Hello as well.
yes, and both Anne and Jennifer are in France, which is my second home. So, love that you all are joining us from France as well, and everywhere from around the globe. This is just always an honor and a privilege, and it's exciting. So as you're joining, remember, please submit your questions, topics. If there's a specific question you want answered, if it has, in order for the Lady Jaclyn to give you insights from the human design perspective, please give your date, time, place of birth, and put it in there so that she can look at that and have your chart up and ready as we may answer questions. And so, Jaclyn, so this is, and this is a surprise for Jaclyn. Hello, Dominique. She's joining from Cape Town.
Hello, Dominique.
So, so I was guided this week, Jaclyn, as I was listening, and it's not a redo of last week by any stretch of the imagination. They've given me some new points to add, and this is one of the topics, one of the themes that one of our previous listeners from the show, when we asked for everybody to give us topics that they would like us to talk about. But it really fits in with the overall theme of 2022. And since we're in the month of January and we're really kicking off the year, the theme is about relationships. And so, and right off the top, and then I'm going to have you jump in with your, or however you want to do this, but we'll have you jump in with the human design gates and everything and what's happening with current energies. But one of the things about the relationships and about the energies, the overall energies of 2022, most all of the planets are going to be sitting in earth and water signs. Earth and water represent the feminine. Air and fire represent masculine. And so it's really important for everyone to realize that this year and kind of like this moment, we say 2022 and beyond, this moment is about our relationships. And the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. It is the one you come into this lifetime, and it is the one that you will leave this lifetime. And it's the relationship with self. It is your soul source relationship, your soul source connection. And so we're going to dive more deeply into that when I share the overall energies, but it's kind of this thing of relationships and how the divine feminine is going to play a massive role in our coming to terms with ourselves and with others and so forth. So Jaclyn, you want to jump right in with the human design energies and what you have for everybody for today's show?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So, just off the back of the relationship aspect, I like to always say that relationships are our mirrors, right? So, it's never about the other, it's always about self. And I love how you said it's this relation, the most important relationship you have is with self, because the relationship you have with other people is going to directly reflect back to you what you need to work on with yourself. And one of the biggest things, this biggest reframe that I would love to basically inspire everyone to kind of embrace and embody is the idea that it's never about the other, it's always about yourself. So even if you're having an argument with your partner, or even if you're having a disagreement at work, or even if there's something that's triggering you with a person that you spoke to, and all of a sudden you want to react, you want to respond, you want to come from a place of, but they did this and they said that, but they need to change this. It's taking a moment, taking a breath, introspecting, turning the eyeballs inside and going, hold on, the triggers that are coming up is not about them, it's about me. Because we are all walking our own paths. We are all individually taking on this journey called life. And if you really come from a place of, I've got to work on me all of the time, and everyone that's around me is reflecting back on the things that I need to work on, your relationships are going to change. They're going to expand. They're going to explode. Either the person that's no longer complimenting you because you're working on yourself so much that the other person falls away, but it's not about kind of checking in and then kind of saying, oh, hold on, is this person good for me? No, you're kind of working on yourself, so automatically the universe takes them away. Or it's, good gracious, I'm working on myself, so now I'm deepening my connection and my bond and my juiciness with the person that I'm relating to. So it's always, it's like so powerful that we're starting with this today. And like James said, it was a surprise for me because we didn't have a discussion before saying, oh wait, today's going to be about relationships. But as you gave this beautiful intro to say that the most important relationship is with yourself, is I want to add in that idea of reframing the idea of it's about the other. It takes two to tango. It's about yourself. It's noticing and understanding it's never about the other. It's always about me. What can I learn from the situation? How can I grow? How can I transform? What needs to come up so that I can clear? How can I hold space for my emotions? And just watch how the relationships in your life flourish. So that is the first thing that I wanted to add. Yes, James, go ahead.
And I just want to tag in really quickly here, because this is an important piece, as Jaclyn just articulated. It's always for you. Remember, it's always happening for us, not to us. And I always tell clients and everyone that I read for and everything to remember, each of us on a soul level, it's all divine and neutral, and each person is showing up in our play. We show up in theirs, they show up in ours, and they are playing the role on a soul level. They are playing the role that we asked them to play. And so once you realize, even, and remember, it's that beautiful oyster in the pearl, if there isn't an irritant, if there isn't a grain of sand, the oyster will never produce a pearl. It requires an irritant. Now, we don't always have to, the irritant doesn't always have to be a negative experience, but it requires action reaction. It requires a reflection, a mirroring. And so the people that come into our lives that we've asked to play roles, it's for us. It's for us to, as Jaclyn just brilliantly articulated, so that we will look at ourselves and say, what is it that I asked you to do? What role are you playing for me? What is it that I want to transcend? And thereby, once I get it, and I say thank you, because what we want to get to is, we want to go from the place of blame, it's you, it's happening to me, it's you, to gratitude. Thank you for playing the role I asked you to play. I got the lesson, I've transcended it, and I'm moving on. And that way, when the universe tests us, because we're asking the universe to test us, did we get the lesson? You can see it and go, oh, thanks, I saw it, I got it, no thanks, bye, got it, yep, got it, and you're on your way. Just wanted to add that in, Jaclyn.
It's so, listen, we can talk about this for days, hey, without even preparing. Because if I'm thinking about, relationships, we're saying it so eloquently and so easily, but let's be honest,
right, come on.
It's not as easy as it rolls out of our tongues, you know what I mean? It's kind of going, hold on, you have to really take full responsibility and kind
Absolutely.
of be willing to say, hang on, it's not about this person who keeps throwing their socks on the floor, or it's not about, my kid screaming in the background, or it's not about my coworker who's selfish. It's about what is it bringing up within me that is going to make me the best version of myself. And like you so beautifully said, James, your soul chose this life already. You signed that contract. I don't know if you guys seen the meme on Instagram, but I saw it a while ago, and it's literally it wasn't a meme, it was actually a reel, and the guy was I'm drawing in this like a contract, online. He's saying yes, I want this, and then you come into the human experience, and then he's hiding under a blanket going, okay, wait, why did I choose this? But that's exactly it. It's acknowledging that our soul has already chose this path for a reason. So number one, you're strong enough and you're confident enough to be able to deal with it. And number two, every person that comes into your life is designed to catapult you into being the best version of yourself. And I'm going to relate it a little bit to human design quickly, because within human design, you can actually see your angles. So you get the left angle, the right angle, or the juxtaposition angle. It's the cross of incarnation. And when you look at your cross, right, just on a very foundational level, if you've got a left angle, what happens is that it is now, it's basically permission for you to know that every single person that comes into your life is there 100% for a reason. It's karmically defined. So even though our souls, every single one of us, doesn't matter what angle you have, we all, there's a reason for everything that happens, right? When you look at your human design chart, now you can identify specifically, hang on, it's not just about me, my journey, me, myself, and I, and my journey. It's every person that's coming in, based on my left angle, is karmically destined. It's been put there, that specific person, whether it be a person who's begging on the side of the road, whether it be a cashier, every single person is designed specifically for your growth, but as well as their growth. Because it's people, basically, with a left angle, it's about people impacting your life, your trajectory, your direction of your life, as well as you're impacting somebody else's. With a right angle, it's about your personal direction, not necessarily there's a specific karma involved with each person, but again, because of your soul contract, what did you do? You wanted certain lessons. So life is going to bring you people at the right time to catapult you again into the highest expression of yourself, so you can learn those lessons, but it's not necessarily specific for that specific person, if that makes sense. So even with human design, we can kind of decipher and understand, and it really helped me because I have a left angle cross. And then when I realized that, I actually looked back in my life and I realized how impactful every person who came into my life was, not only was I to them, but them to me, and how there was a possibility of them changing the direction of my life based on where I was at any given time. And what's also happened, it's given me the permission and actually the acceptance to now appreciate every single person that I speak to, whether it be, like I said, a person that I don't know, a random stranger coming up to me asking for directions. It's like I'm consciously aware of every single person who comes into my energy space is there for a reason. I'm either there to guide them in that moment, maybe give them a little bit of my energy, or they're there to give me a little bit of something, or even a big something to change the trajectory of my life. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. And as you were speaking about that, there two things came. One is that beautiful saying about people come into our lives for a reason, a season, a lifetime. And that's a beautiful truth, but it's also to remember that sometimes when we see people and we think they're here for a lifetime, and all of a sudden we realize or experiences life occurs, life happens, and you realize that it's not a lifetime, or in the way that they were there in a lifetime changes. And we have to be willing to change with it. Because if we try to hold on to people, or they are trying to hold on to us, everything is evolving, everything is changing. So while, yes, people come into and as the left angle and the right angle from human design and everything as Jaclyn was speaking about, it's like you're able to look back, but a personal experience, somebody that I have had in my life for a very long time, that I would call family, a friend that a family, it's that friend family conglomeration mashup, and somebody that you don't walk away from lifers easily, and yet the circumstances mandated it. The circumstances. And so while that person is somewhat still a lifetime, you're there in a lifetime, they're absent now. And I had to make space for that. I had to make space for who I am today, who they are today. And so in that, you want to recognize in our relationships, allow people to grow, allow people to change, allow people to be the chameleon, the incarnation within the incarnation. We're going to have multiple us's in one lifetime. And that's what we want. We want that. So that was one thing that came in as the season, the reason, for a reason, a season, a lifetime. And the other thing is to remember, we are all 100% whole and complete when we arrive. From the infant that's coming in to the newborn that's coming into its mother and father, parents, care provider, to the well-established, the youthful elderly, this beautiful life lived. We are whole and complete. So as we talk about relationships and relationship with self, remember, you are whole and complete just as you are. So when people come into your life, look at them as though you are whole and complete. Are they adding something? Is it 100 plus? Not 50-50 and not, oh, they're my soulmate and they complete me and all that good stuff. That is a statement of lack, that something's missing. And nothing is ever missing, because as we're talking about souls and soul contracts and it's all already there. It's all full. It's all 100%. And, just a quick little tidbit, Jaclyn, before we continue on. I laugh about the soul contracts because we always go along, everyone's like a soul contract and you're like, yeah, it's a soul contract and yes, it's in there. And then when it's really challenging and everything, we'll sit and go, I'm sorry, did you read the fine print? Because somewhere in clause such and such, there's got to be the fine print that I signed up for this. I said I would do
But
this. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Where did I miss the magnifying glass part? I mean, so that's our joke. It's our levity. I share that because it's like it's a levity piece, right? It's like, yep, it's in the fine print. We just didn't read, it's like when they say, oh, do you want this software or whatever? Did you read the terms? Oh, for the love. Yeah, everybody just goes, yep, I did.
Yeah.
And then later you go, what does it mean? What? It says what? It's all about the fine print.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, it's so beautiful because it's going to jump straight into what I wanted to speak about today, which is the Pluto. and Pluto being in the gate 60, and we can already feel the energy. So it's gonna transition from the in January 14th, right? So it's about, what is today? 12th. Yeah, 12. So it's about 2 days time. We're going to transition into the gate 60. But because Pluto is such a big planet, we're feeling the energies already. So there's a lot of energies happening. So I don't know if you guys have been feeling it already. Let me know. Let us know in the comments. Have you been feeling all the fields? Have you been feeling the emotions? Have you been feeling this huge shift? I mean, we have Venus in retrograde. We've got Mercury that's going in retrograde on the 14th. We've got there's a full moon on the 17th, 18th, which is Monday, Tuesday-ish, next week. I mean, there's a lot happening, right? But to continue with what James was talking about, the limitation, Pluto is the planet of transformation, and the gate 60 is understanding that limitation is the first step to transcendence. So if you're thinking about, at the moment, you're thinking that there's a bit of scarcity or there's a lack, or you've got those feelings or those thoughts of limitation or scarcity or not having, enough, because there's a bit of like duality that's coming up now as well with Capricorn, and then the full moon, I think, is in Cancer. So what we're having at the moment is kind of like this ambition. We spoke about this last week, is that ambition, that masculine energy, and then we have the feminine energy and the openness, the surrender, and the receiving, right? So it's kind of going right now to understand that the limitation that you're feeling is perceived lack, because so beautifully James mentioned that we're all coming in as whole, right? We're all whole beings. We're all whole souls, individuals. And it's almost like, because of life, we're basically just remembering our worth. We're remembering how whole we actually are. And so the limitation that you're experiencing now is reframing it to say it's not about the lack, because the limitation is that first step to transformations, that first step to transcendence. So any subconscious conditionings, any deep rooted beliefs that are no longer in alignment with where you're going are going to be coming up. And we know also with the full moon, it affects the emotions, just like the moon affects the water, the tides. We're 75% water, so it affects our emotions. So this is a time, as much as you want to push and be ambitious, it's a time to give yourself space and hold, I want to say, space for your emotions. Allow yourself to feel and move through what you're feeling, while acknowledging and bringing awareness to what is actually coming up for you. A lot of subconscious conditionings and beliefs are coming up, so that we can actually reprogram it, so that we can step into a newness that is waiting for us in 2022. I mean, we spoke about this from the get-go. We ended off last year saying that there's beautiful, new, magical things coming. This is the work. Like, when people say, you got to take action, you got to do the work, you got to, that hustle vibe, this is the work. This is where the action needs to take place. This is where you're taking inspired action by actually allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be kind to yourself as you figure out, as you embrace, as you grow in awareness, as you embody what needs to clear, so you can make space. James said, make space so that you can let the new come in, so you can have the transformation that's waiting for you, so you can move through, so you can level up, right? So that's the Pluto energy. And then it goes into, as well, what I wanted to mention is Jupiter